Hi, everybody. Good coffee. Oh, it's a beautiful day. Welcome to our wonderful Wednesday together. Yes, Wednesday. I can't help be pretty happy today. Hopefully, you're doing absolutely wonderful today. I mean, that's what I hope. I hope you're doing magnificent. Oh, having a couple little flubs. We're going to get around those. It's perfectly fine. That happens in the morning sometimes. Not everything works the way we intend. So I'm joining you all here, and you can find me on right now. I'm with you on Twitch, on Twitter, on YouTube, on LinkedIn. Oh, the fun of Restream. If you're not using Restream, if you're using some sort of other streaming service, that's perfectly fine. I highly recommend Restream though. It's what I use, so I recommend it, and it's great. Quick visual descriptor: I have long brown hair, glasses, black coat and a hood. Got this nice scarf, blue overcoat, coffee cup in hand. Right behind me, we have the river, the snow, and the sunrise. Woo, the sunrise. Awful pretty. It is. It's awful. It's awful wonderful. Uh, Awfully wonderful. That's a funny phrase. Let's just think about it for 2 seconds. Awful, wonderful. Because awfully and awful, they don't always actually mean something bad. Sometimes they can just mean a lot or something of that nature. I'm already getting distracted and I'm having a little trouble. I'm not going to be able to see the chat, it doesn't look like. So, happens. What are you going to do? You're going to go along. Yeah, I'm fiddling a little bit. That's okay. I'm not going to fiddle too much more with that. No, no, no. Apparently, my chat doesn't want to work at all. So, I apologize if you say anything in the chat. I won't probably be able to see it. But good day. I hope you have your coffee, your tea, whatever it may be. Mm, mm. That's just good stuff. So, everything's working. It's fine. We're good. I'm glad to see you all. Oh, what a day. What a day. What a day. So it's Wednesday, and one of the things that we've been talking about on Wednesdays is Wind Down Wednesday. But the question is, how do you wind down? Oh, a good question. So I'm going to just go ahead. I'm going to jump right into it, and I'm going to talk about something that I really enjoy that actually helps me wind down. So I come to this river every morning. I get outside, before most people are off doing too much. Most, no, actually, no, I won't even say most. Before many people are doing much yet. Maybe they're still getting ready for work. Maybe they're off at the gym. Maybe they're reading a morning book. Some people read a book in the morning, and that's just fine. I come down here to the river. I get my coffee. Uh, I'm outside in just about any weather, and I enjoy time at the river. And I decided over a year ago now to start sharing these river moments with all of you. And it was a great idea. It was a really great idea. And it's one I'm happy I started doing because it gave me the opportunity to, share this little slice this little slice of heaven with all of you. And it is a little slice of heaven. It's a beautiful place. But the river is actually so much more. At least it's so much more to me. I grew up here. Uh, I grew up in this area and near this river, and I got to really see what it meant to a lot of different people. In the town I grew up in, and I still live quite close to, this river was so much more than just a beautiful sight. It was also a form of kind of income for the town. We relied on a seasonal fishing. Uh, we relied on seasonal fishing business. People would travel from all over. Actually, we still get people traveling from all over the country that come to fish in this river during our salmon season. So the river is not just beautiful and not just a very definite feature of town, neighborhood, and kind of integrated into the local culture and the local aesthetic. It's also a form of income. People come to our town, they spend a lot of money, they go fishing, they get fishing licenses, they stay in local hotels, they do local restaurants, they shop at our shops. And it's been going pretty well for a long, long, long time. I mean, long before I was born. Um, but then something happened. The darker times we've had in the past couple of years. The number of people traveling into town reduced greatly. Put us all in a quandary. Less people were coming into town, less money was coming. And at first, it was kind of hard. But then something else interesting happened. A lot of people attempting to get away from larger cities and whatnot actually ended up coming to this town. And instead of just coming for a season, they came and they started staying long term. Morning over there on Twitch. And once these people started staying longer term, that changed some of the landscape of the area. It's hard to tell what effects things will have. It's hard to tell if a lull will suddenly become a boom. Now, this small area is still trying to recover from a sudden influx of lots of additional people. To that effect, much like many other places, at least in the US, we still have shortages. We still have difficulties with our local stores getting enough supplies for the shelves. We still have complete sellouts of items. We haven't figured out, even after a couple of years, how well it feels like a couple of years. It's not quite a couple of years, but it's almost. Um, but we still haven't figured out exactly how to readjust to all these extra people. And at first, I want to question why. Why haven't we figured this out? But there's really a simple explanation to that, because we're not the only ones trying to figure it out. People all over the country right now are trying to figure out, still, even after all this time, how to readjust. Everything is different. And it's undeniable. For many people, for many people in many different businesses, even our work culture and office culture has had a great shift. Anyone who's joining me on LinkedIn right now understands quite a bit that we've shifted to a far more digital work environment, and people don't necessarily want to leave it now. And that's okay. But the real question is, why is it so hard for a system to adapt? I mean, you'd assume we'd be able to adapt after a certain amount of time to the new way of things. But if you look at businesses that have lasted decades, or there are businesses out there lasted centuries, sometimes a great shift in the way things are can put them down. You can take many great retail chains, for example, with the rise of internet shopping. They couldn't keep up. Maybe they made some missteps and they've just flopped out. And it happens. And of course, you can look at other things, the way our food industries have drastically changed with the ever changing demands of customers. So if you consider for a moment, if you have a business, if you're starting one, if something is new, and something big or even something small happens, you might have trouble adjusting. All right, so we have some comments over on Twitch, and I'm just going to give it verbatim. Systems are made by individuals that want more. That won't change. I don't disagree. I don't disagree, because there are so many things that are built on to phrase it poorly, the backs of the customer and the workforce. Adapting means letting go. Another great comment on Twitch. Adapting means letting go, and adapting does mean letting go. But sometimes we have hubris. Sometimes we lack confidence. Sometimes we don't see the way things move. So, both as a society, as a culture, as communities, as businesses, people have been struggling to adapt. And this is a general paintbrush that I swash over everything, from the way our government has been working, to the way our businesses have been working, the way our communities have been working, the way our schools have been working. Adapting. We have to all take the chance to adapt. I don't know how that works for everyone. I don't know how that works for you. What I do know, though, is that adapting is possible. There was a point in time where my mornings looked entirely different. As I said, about a year ago, I started sharing the river with all of you every day because I was down here, and I made an adaptation. Now, this is, of course, a strange analogy to make everything else I was talking about, but it was a small change. From that small change, so many other things have started to change, and hopefully change for the better. But of course, for me individually, it means the way I structure my day has changed. The priorities I set for my morning have changed. The way I get ready in the morning has changed. And then I've brought the river, this beautiful river, to all of you. But we've also had the chance to have conversations, to share good moments. Not every change works like that. Some changes don't work out. Very, very popular, once popular retail chain, had the opportunity to buy what is now a very, very, I think now $1 billion industry for streaming, when that streaming industry, when that streaming company was almost nothing. But because the previous retail industry looked at them and believed that their model wouldn't work and was a fly-by-night fad, they didn't buy them. What ended up happening Actually, maybe most people know this, and if you don't, go ahead and look it up. This interesting thing happened. So Blockbuster Video had the opportunity to buy Netflix when Netflix was almost nothing. Netflix made Blockbuster Video an offer for a pretty reasonable sum of money, which I don't remember off the top of my head. Blockbuster Video, though, believed that Netflix was a destined to fail business model. And so Blockbuster Video did not purchase Netflix. We all know how that ended up. Blockbuster Video collapsed. Netflix skyrocketed. Because the older, more well-established business didn't adapt to the changing world. And yes, Blockbuster Video believed themselves to be in the power position. How strange. Now there's, I think, one Blockbuster Video left in the world, and they have a TV show about it. I don't know where that streams, but I know there's a TV show about the last Blockbuster Video that exists. Because it's now a curiosity of time. But all of this conversation, all of these segues and traits in the topic really come down to this. When something comes up for you, for us, as creators, as entrepreneurs, as workers in an industry somewhere, whatever position you might be in your life right now, if something comes up, a change occurs, or has occurred, and maybe you feel like you're struggling to adapt, it's okay to feel like you're struggling, so long as you recognize that you have to adapt, that something needs to change. What needs to change depends entirely on individual circumstances for each one of us. But nonetheless, we must adapt. We must adapt. The world is a far different place than it was just a few years ago. Our expectations for life in the future in 2019, well, those are a different world. What occurred afterwards and what's still occurring, that's the now, that's the future. How will we go forward in that? Now, very relevant to me now. I'm glad it's relevant to you now. Thank you for joining me over on Twitch. I hope everyone has a marvelous day. Get yourself a cup of coffee, tea, whatever it may be, an extra cuppa if you need one. Because of the wind, I'm not walking over there with the camera today to show you the river, but it is right behind me, and we have this beautiful sunrise, nice reflective waters. Get yourself an extra cuppa. You deserve one. Depending on where you're joining me now, somewhere nearby, you're going to see a link for my audiobook, In Absentia. And also, if you don't see the link, you can get on Audible, iTunes, or Amazon, and you can look up that audiobook, In Absentia, by Mackenzie McDuffie. And if you like darker stories, things that are a little bit more mature in content, please consider picking up a copy, and please leave a review. That's an adaptation that I've taken. New mediums for my work. But please consider getting a copy of In Absentia. The link should be somewhere nearby. If it's not, look me up, iTunes, Amazon, or Audible. Get yourself a copy. And I hope you have a wonderful day. Take care. Be excellent. Get an extra cuppa. Oh, that's so good right now. And I'm going to talk to you all again real soon. Oh my goodness, the wind is completely... What is going on with my hair? All right, that's a good sign to leave. Take care, everybody. Bye.